Welcome back, everybody. Well, let me just start this video off by saying I didn't sleep well. I'm not in a particularly good mood, but this is a little time sensitive, so we'll make it happen today. So this video is going to be a little different than a lot of them. If you don't like hearing anything negative, well, hey, you know what? This video is not the video for you. Go click off. I got like 730 other videos or, whatever. So yeah, probably not the video for you. If you got little kids in the room, hey, probably not the video for you. We're talking about saws today. Obviously there's these two saws here, and this one is very real, and this one, well, it's not real. But we're still going to be talking about it because on the surface, they look to be the same. I thought they were the same as well, and they're not the same. They're not the same at all. We have the Lortone TS10C, and we have the Highland Park rip-off version. And, that's kind of what we're talking about. I've heard a lot of reports lately of issues with these, and now I'm seeing the issue firsthand right here. And let's just hop right into it. You'll listen to me chat. We'll hang out in the shop today. Different kind of off-the-cuff video, and let's get right into it. So before we get into today's problem, I want to show you something about this saw. Cause, it's a 10-inch trim saw, and it's that's a popular size, right? Get the belt covers off here. Basically, right, we got a motor. Motor has shaft, we got a pulley, we got a belt, and then this is, well, the bearings and the arbor for it. I thought they would have been the same. I thought, hey, Highland Park probably got one of these saws and they just copied it. Couldn't be further from the truth. Let me show you how it should be done, which is this thing. Unfortunately, this saw is no longer made. Quite the shame. This is the shaft that would typically have a saw blade, and then there's another flange, right? We're fully sealed here, so this is a high quality industrial seal. And down here, you can see that comes through the housing, sealed off from the water. First big pillow block, a pulley, and another big pillow block, right? These are greasable, end user serviceable, high quality pillow block bearings, and that's the way to do it. This is a little easier to see here. This is my carpet wheel. Big pillow block bearings with the shaft running through it, and they are held on with two set screws in there, okay? Like set screws clamping onto it. So these are very secure, very affordable, and very bomb-proof. These ones on the saw are high-quality Japanese pillow block bearings, and if you have a wrench, well, you can take them off, put new ones on. Pretty simple. You can see how they're mounted up here, right? We got some big like carriage bolts with some rubber washers, prevents any water getting out. Yeah, that's the way right there. So this is Highland Park's version of what I showed you. Often with them, the knockoff, well, that's a knockoff product, okay? So this is their version of the arbor with the pillow block bearings. Imagine the saw, right? So this would be mounted on the outside, and this goes on the inside, and this is what your blade gets mounted to right here, right? So we have a pulley, and here's the problem. So this belonged to a friend of mine, and I'm helping him out here, and I had this nasty seal in here, but this is how they replaced the pillow block bearings. And it's got this goop on here. This is like RVT sealant stuck to the outside of the saw. It has this low quality seal right here for keeping the water from penetrating into the bearings. But what happened is well, I think it was slipping. And we have an aluminum housing here, which is anodized, and you can see the bearings here. This one is very chunky to turn, and this one is entirely seized. And they are friction pressed into this aluminum housing. And, well, he sent this to me because he couldn't get it apart. And he asked Highland Park for replacement bearings and a seal. And, well, in classic Highland Park fashion, they sent him one bearing, okay, and one seal instead of two bearings and one seal. Very disappointing. And on top of that, it is the lowest quality bearing possible, right? Like, this is just like it's cheap. So the only thing really preventing this from like spinning in here, right? It's like a friction fit. That's pretty much what it comes down to. There's like a little snap ring that I already took off that kind of holds this all in place, but very disappointing to see this level of poor construction. We have some kind of almost burn marks here, and I do believe what was happening was, well, the bearing seized, this thing just was spinning there in place and nuked this bearing. This is similar to what I've heard from everyone, basically, right? Like that this is just it's a bad design. So step one today is to get these out. There's no lip inside this to, how to say it? There's no lip inside it to prevent the bearings from going in further. So let's give this thing a measure here. So they pushed it in 8 millimeters. I better write that down. UPS should be delivering some new bearings for this thing today. So hopefully we can get these out. A couple of problems. All bearings, even the most garbage tiered bearings are, well, they're hardened, right? Like the outside of this, the outside race is hard. And these are just friction pressed into this probably 6061 aluminum. So we've got to try to not destroy this thing as we take these bearings out, and try not to destroy them as we turn, put the new ones in. So for something like this, you need a blind hole bearing puller. So we have this mandrel here, and as we tighten it, it will, we'll put it back here, we'll open it up, and it seats on the underside of the bearing, and basically makes it so that we can pull straight up from the inside out. And that's how we do this. Oh, this thing's, I hope this comes out. Like, I would be really upset if this is just like completely wedged in here. Very, I don't know. It's, yeah, we'll get this thing out. Wow, that is, what junk. I guess we'll try the slide hammer first, and we'll see if it nicely comes out or not. But very sick and tired of all the people that defend this type of thing. You know, it's just like you just don't know better, and it's stupid. It's completely stupid. Okay, let's give it a go. Ooh, that came out. Not bad. Okay, so that one does have a seat. Pretty cool. All right, there we go. Not bad. Often when you hear people talk about Highland Park, they almost sound like they're like in a abusive relationship, right? They'll be like, yeah, so I bought rocks from them, and yeah, they shorted me like 2 pounds. And then I bought a rock tumbler from them, and it leaked. And, and then I bought a saw from them, and it came with a burnt out motor, or the motor, it kept faulting out because they actually cut the wires going to the restart to try to get the thing to run, and shipped it out, which is super dangerous, by the way. But I love them. I'm gonna keep on it. You're like, dude, you sound like you're in like an abusive relationship, right? You're like, yeah, he slapped me around, So I called the cops, and yeah, they came to arrest him, so I tried to fight the cops. Oh, and then I bailed him out, and then he gave me a black eye. You're like, when are you going to learn, right? Like, how many times do you got to get burned by this Chinese manufacturing company before you're like, I'm over it, right? Like, give me a break, you know? Like, I can just hear all the Highland Park fanboys coming in now and be like, yeah, but they're a growing company. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just completely dumb. It is so beyond dumb. Definitely don't want to screw up the anodizing. I guess if we got to screw it up, we'll screw it up on the lip here. Get this thing off. You know, it's just so disappointing because it doesn't have to be like this. You know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? Like, just try to not be terrible. I guess really it's not even just all Highland Park, right? Like, I know Covington makes stupid arbors like this, which I'm just like, why, guys? Like, oh, speaking of Covington, buddy of mine has a Covington saw, had arbor issues, goes in to take the bearings out. Sure enough, they are dirt cheap Chinese bearings. What happened to, hey, Covington, what happened to Made in America, huh? What happened? Yeah. Can't trust anybody with this stuff nowadays. Okay, let's see if we can get this bearing out. I hope this one also has a lip. If this one has a lip, I'll be a little happy about that. Nope, we're sliding up in the vise. Okay. Redo this thing here. How am I going to do this? Don't want to mush it. All right, this thing's coming out one way or another. We got the puller on here. Let's give this a go. Get this all nice and adjusted. I'm just sick and tired of it. Oop. Moving now. Show of hands. Who here has blind hole bearing pullers? Show of hands. Anybody? Let's do this instead of, simple pillow blocks. That makes sense. Makes sense. There we go. And it does have a lip. Well, I guess they did one thing right. So, old bearings, the seal, and I'll get this thing all cleaned up here because, well, that's a complete train wreck. What do you say we do a little bearing inspection? Can we diagnose our issue here? Let's grab the microscope and find out. I'll tell you this right now. Let's see, get this recording. Digital microscope is a very nice thing to have for just such such a situation. Well, you can read the name of the bearing here. I won't be reading that out loud here on YouTube. Yeah, it's just a El Cheapo Korean bearing. Like, nothing special at all. Yeah, not looking good here for sure. You can see, what is that? Is that just like this is the one that still turns, but you can see the slop in it. That is junk. And yeah, very cooked. Very, very cooked. Let's look at the other one. Let's look at the one that's entirely seized. Yeah, this was definitely exposed to water because probably the seal failed. Here's the seal. This thing failed because this is a wildly inadequate way of preventing any type of water intrusion into something. You have to have something better than this. Why do I even have to say it at this point? It's almost very ridiculous. My concern is that these bearings rubbed on the inner race on the shaft, and now we're going to have some issues with any kind of fitment moving forward, because, well, you can see there we got like some significant wear. And yeah, I'll get all this all cleaned up, and hopefully we can salvage this thing. If not, I think the whole arbor is toast. Look how nice and clean that is now. All right, so the thing that prevents water from getting inside this is this little seal right here. And what we have is, this is a little spring seal. Okay, so there's a spring in here, and this gets pressed onto this arbor just like that. And that's the only thing. When this wears out, okay, you're done. That's it. That's what prevents the water from getting in. You know what? Keep this in mind. Hey, all of the ShillTubers that are like, you know, have a lapidary rock hounding channel, and they're like, use my code. Keep that in mind, that the only thing preventing this problem right here from this beloved company of yours is like a 10-cent garbage seal. Yeah, you know, you should be ashamed of yourself to be promoting such a poorly thought out, junky thing. Hopefully UPS man comes today and the bearings work, but never know with stuff like this. In the meantime, I would like to talk to you a little bit about the Lortone saw, and the one criticism that I've seen of it, which might be justified, it might not be. You be the judge. You tell me what you think. So I assume that most of you don't know much about welding. This saw right here was welded using a laser welder, and the one criticism that I have seen of this saw comes from the CEO of Highland Park Lapidary, where he, well, you can read it right here. He's talking about that they didn't passivate their weld. So basically, the passivating a weld removes this discoloring. And then I've seen that parroted by a bunch of HPL fanboys. And really, which you pick, right? Would you rather have a cleaner looking passivated weld, or a saw that leaks? This whole like cheap bearing issue, poorly thought out, bad design, Band-Aid fixes. I would rather have a little bit of discoloring on my welds. I would rather have a better designed tool that does not break, that doesn't have issues, than something that is marginally cosmetically better. But please tell me down below, do you prefer something that is poorly designed but cosmetically nicer, or something that is functionally better but less cosmetically appealing, like this lack of passivation? Mailman came. Got some relatively decent SKF bearings made in Italy. SKFs they're not the best bearings, like they're on the low end of name brand, right? I mean, bearings are like many things. Sky's the limit, you could get in deep with some bearings, I do think they will work. Kind of opened up one. So one of these I already have in the chest freezer in the house, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run in and I'm going to get it and see if it'll just smoothly drop in, because the fit on these is like very, very tight. So if I can save the anodization by, not smashing a bearing in there with a press or the vise or whatever, well, that would be ideal. But yeah, these, I think the amount of shrinkage that we could get out of the chest freezer might work. If it doesn't, that's fine, and get pressed in. So I'm gonna run in and get it, and I'll drop it in. Oh, so close. Nope. We're gonna be driving that in. Let's see if we can give it a little tippy tappy here. We're gonna be shoving this thing in with the press. Well, we'll try the vise. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't work. We're in here pretty good. We can see in here, we got just a little bit more to go to get that nice and seated for this one. This is, of course, the easy bearing, because I should put my soft jaws on for that, because it's not recessed. So this is the one that was very flush, and you know, that's good. One thing that's important that Highland Park didn't do is face the maker's mark, the brand and the sizing of the bearing. That's not going to be something that I do. We're going to definitely do it the right way, which is to make it so the next person can see what to order. So my bearing races are not correct. My smallest one, which is a 39.5, is not going to cut it here because, well, we got to push it way further in than what this will go, which is unfortunate. The way to do this is to press on a bearing like that on the outer race and shove it in, but I don't have that, so we're gonna have to get a little creative here. You know, kind of interesting, I think. Maybe it's not interesting, but you know, the thing is, with all of this stuff, right? There's like 3 scenarios, right, that you can have as an interaction with a company. You can buy a good machine and have a good experience. You can buy a bad machine and have a good experience. Like, you know, they fixed it. And then you can also buy a bad machine and have a bad experience, right? The latter, all 3 of those things can coexist, right? But the latter is the only one that actually matters. One thing that I'm always surprised by is the number of people that are like, Highland Park, they're the best. I love them. And that's their response to anybody saying anything negative, which is like legit, like an insane thing. Because like, this being a bad scenario, right? So they have a bad design of a product, and the person wanted to get service for it. And then they also had a bad experience because there's a pain in the butt for them. It took them a long time to get the stuff, and they didn't even get enough of the bearings, right? I can drive to the grocery store 1,000 times, and have no issues driving to the store. But on trip 1001, you run over a kid and you smush him. Well, I'm not exactly, you don't get to be like, well, yeah, but all the 1,000 times I did drive to the store, that erases that one. Like, nah, like, are you legit dumb? Is that how you think? Like, man, some people out there. Yeah. So, I gotta figure this one out, how I'm gonna push that in. Well, I wouldn't recommend using a hydraulic press and a chromoly 1-inch socket. On the plus side, it's not a nice like snap-on socket or nothing like that. It's a gear wrench. So we should be able to press this guy in here just fine with this. Get everything nice and lined up. I do think definitely warrants apron and some safety glasses. There we go. Is that the bottom? We took measurements of 8 millimeters. So we'll give that a measure. But that's in there. I got 7.7 millimeters. We'll try to smush it in just a tad bit more. This one didn't want to go. It's got to be in there now. I didn't even break anything. Not bad. Push the seal in. You also going to be difficult? Dang. A little bit of a tippy-tappy. There we go. I have to give this a little tippy-tappy as well. I can see we're at the point here where there's a little snap ring. It's a little firm. I don't think that's much of a problem. Better than it not spinning at all. But usually these kind of bearings, once you really start the thing spinning up, it will break in these bearings. So we got our snap ring. That will hold it all together and prevent this from sliding. The fun part of this is having it not launch across the room and losing it. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so we got that. Pulley. I got to get some set screws for this guy. So what to say here? It's a disappointing situation, you know. Somebody shouldn't have to go through all of this because somebody decided to save $3 on some bearings and cheap out or whatever, right? Like, I guess more than $3, but like the bearings they sent this thing out with, they're probably like a $2 bearing for them and like a 75-cent seal. This could all be avoided too if they were just like, hey man, take it off, send it back to me. I'll change out your bearings for you and send it right back, right? But nah, like dealing with Highland Park, it's always a freaking nightmare, right? Like it's a nightmare. I've proven this. I've shown the chat logs. I've shown it all. It's stupid. It's ridiculous, right? Like the people that like defend this type of action are also stupid. The ShillTubers constantly pimping their codes and been like, go buy this stuff. Like, you know what? You should pay me, right? You guys should pay me, you the YouTubers, because you're pushing this type of stuff, which means I field the emails and I help people, right? So you're making more work for me, you're making money. Or all around, why don't you just pick a better company to align yourself with? Or don't align yourself with any of them. How about that? You know, like I want companies to behave ethically and be sound, reasonable people about things. Stop selling stuff like this. This is a stupid design. Stop lying if you're made in America and you're actually not. Just be a decent person and a decent company. So, all right, I know a little bit of a different video. I'm going to clean up out here. I appreciate you guys. Catch you in the next video. It'll be more fun. I lied. I'm back. I was just talking to, I got it held on with some tape right now. I was talking to the person who this belongs to, told them shipping this thing out. And, one thing that came up, and I just wanted to add this, right? I help lots of people fix lots of lapidary machines because people get into lapidary, they don't think they're getting into machining and stuff like that. I fix 2 types of machines. And I help people fix 2 types of machines. Old vintage machines, stuff from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, old machines, companies no longer around, and new Highland Park machines. Those are the 2 machines that I help people fix. And you might be like, well, what about the other ones, right? Like, well, you got Diamond Pacific, you got Rhino, you got High Tech Diamond, you got Covington. There's other makers of machines, except when they have a problem with it, people interact with the company. They don't get ghosted by the company and then have to interact with me. Yeah. So I decided to add that because, well, I think it's worth talking about. That's what this is us hanging out. So that said, this thing's getting shipped off, and catch you in the next one.